Hello beautiful people, welcome to my YouTube channel. So in today's video I'll be showing you how to do your makeup like a pro. So this YouTube channel is actually dedicated to all makeup lovers, everyone who wants to learn how to do makeup like a pro, people who love to do things by themselves, team DIY. So here is a channel that will help you out in achieving that perfect makeup look that you want. So yes, the first thing I did was to clean my face. I used my micellar water and then my wipes to clean my face properly. That micellar water is really important because it helps to remove every dirt. Then the next thing I did was to go in with my moisturizer and allowed it to dry, and then now I am applying my primer. It's important to use primers and moisturizers that go well with the type of skin you have, so maybe later I'll do a detailed video on that. So the next thing I'm doing is to prep my after my skin prep, I get my foundation ready. I warm it up. So yes, I'm using this beauty blender, and this blender is from Adventure. I'm using it to blend my foundation. So I'm taking the product bit by bit. I'm not taking everything fully. So, and then the blending is a soft blend. I'm not blending it hard. Do you understand? So you need to master the art of blending, because once you can be able to blend in your products properly, your makeup will always stand out. So yes, so I first start with my jawline before I go to every part of the face. So this is very important. So once you're done blending your foundation, the next thing you're going to be using is the concealers. So you have to use concealers that are 2 shades lighter than your skin tone. So this is very important because it will help you brighten your under eyes. So I'm blending from the inside down to the outer, like from the inner corners of my eyes to the outer parts. Then I'm extending it down to my nose, corners of my nose, and then my eyes as well, my eyelids as well. Then I'm also going to do my forehead. So this process is done around the T-zones. So the T-zones, by T-zones I mean the forehead, the bridge of the nose, your under eyes, and your chin. So I forgot to mention at the beginning, your beauty blender has to be moist. It has to be a little bit wet. It doesn't have to be too dry, not too wet, not too dry, so that it will enable you to blend in your foundation properly. So the next thing I do is to go in with my powder contour. So for every cream product you apply, you must always use a powder product on top of it. So I just went straight into using the powder contour. I just used the powder to contour my nose. I didn't use any cream product at all. So the next thing I do is to use a darker foundation, because I do not have a concealer that could do the job for me. So I used a darker shade, like 2 shades darker than my skin tone. So at some point I actually used my foundation to blend this out properly because I felt it was too dark for me. The next thing to do is to go in with your blush. So I'm using this flat brush to just take out a little amount. So this is actually a lip palette. So if you have any lipstick at all that's highly pigmented, then you can actually use it to do your blush. So once I take a little out of it, I apply it on this area. Just take note of the place where I applied my blush. So once you do so, you start going in circular, you blend in circular motion. So remember, the secret is to ensure that you blend properly. So even if it takes you 1 hour to blend your makeup, you really need to learn the art of blending. So yes, so I go in circular motion to blend my blush, and then after that I switch sides of my beauty blender to blend the whole face out, so there is no harsh line. Then the next thing I do is to go in with my powder shade to set my face. This is a powder palette I'm using, and it's from Royal Makeup. So I'm just using this to like powder every area of my face that I initially highlighted. All you need to do in this process is just to dab. So I'm not dragging, I'm just softly dabbing those places I highlighted with my powder palette. So the setting powder I'm using is black opal in the shade medium. So I'm the kind of person that do not like to pack products. So I'm just taking this my black opal, this setting powder. I'm taking bit by bit. I do not like to pack products. So most times I even take and then I dust off the excess, or I blow off the excess. So this line here is actually optional. If you want, you can do it. If you do not want, you can just go ahead with the whole makeup process. So the next thing I do is to powder my face. So I'm just going in with this powder, with my powder shade, and with this brush. So I'm moving in circular motion to make sure that there are no harsh lines. So after powdering my whole face, aside my under eye, which I just allow the setting powder to sit in for a while, I go ahead to do my brows. So I will do a detailed video on how I was able to achieve my brows with my brow gel, not the eye pencil but brow gel. So I'm using this eyeshadow primer from Benai. So I'm just applying that on my eyelid as my base before I go in with my eyeshadow. So I'm using this powder, this shade of powder as my transition shade, and I'm blending in circular motion. I'm starting off from the outer corner of my eyelid to the inner corners. And once I'm done, I still go in again with my eyeshadow primer. So after applying the primer, I went in with these two shades of eyeshadow. So I'm mixing them together. One is white and the other one is looking like a cream color. So I'm just applying that on top of the primer, eyeshadow primer. Also notice that I'm not using the same brush. I'm using a different brush for this process. Then after that, I'm still going in with another color. So this color is what I just applied to the outer part, just somewhere in the middle. So I'm just going to so I needed to have this blend of two different colors. So once I'm done, I still go in again. I use the same brush I used, but this time around I just switch sides. So I'm just using this to go in with the first two shades I used, just to make sure that I didn't lose some of those colors. After that, I go back in with the brush I used to apply my transition shade. So I'm just blending those colors out to ensure that there are no harsh lines. And then the next thing I do is to use this slim brush to line my eyes. So I'm starting from the outer corner and then I'm just drawing a straight line upwards. So this would help to achieve a perfect winged eyeliner. And I'm using a black gel liner to do this. So the reason I'm using this brush is because it gives me some sort of control, so I'm able to extend the line at the outer corner of my eyes. That's my tear duct. And in case you do not have this brush, you can also use any flat brush to do this process. So the next thing I do is to go in with my powder. So I'm just going to powder my whole face. So like I said, it has to be in circular motion. You just have to like dab, 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 dab. Nothing, you're not swiping, you're just dabbing enough powder onto your face, onto your skin. So I use a smaller brush so I could have enough control to be able to blend in these areas very well. And for this process is completely optional. If you want to do it, but believe me, this is actually a trend. It makes your makeup look so nice, it makes it look so demure. So what you just need to do is to go in with your concealer to conceal this your perfectly winged eyeliner. Yes, and then after that you blend it out completely. So the next thing I do is to line my lips using my brow gel liner. So this is the brown color. I actually used this initially, but I did not like it. So the next thing I did was to go in with one of my old lipstick, and that was in red wine or so. So after applying that on top of this, I blended it out because the brown was really giving dark shade. Like I didn't like what it was giving. So at this point I have applied the red wine, I think. So I've applied it and I completely love this shade. Then I go in with a nude shade from that lip palette I showed you guys earlier. So the lip palette is Who's That Girl. That's the name of the lip palette. I still go back again to properly line the lips and blend everything out completely. And I did not actually like how this was looking, so what I did was it was too bright for my liking, so I had to go in with a lighter shade of powder from my powder palette, and this is just me applying it to dim it a little bit. After this I apply my lip gloss. You know, what's makeup without lip gloss? So the name of the lip gloss I use is Classic Lip Gloss. So just like I said, for every cream product you use, there's always a powder product to use on top of it. So I'm using this blush to apply on the area I actually did my cream blush. So the next thing I do is to go in with this highlighter shade. I'm just going to highlight the bridge of my nose, my forehead, just a little bit. You can use your golden eyeshadow to improvise if you do not have an highlighter palette. Ensure to take it little at a time because some of these highlighter palettes can be very pigmented. And after this, I go in with my spray, and this is the final look, guys. Will you be trying out this look? Let me know in the comment section, and please do not forget to subscribe and turn on your notification bell. See you in my next video. Bye.